Hi, this is Elena with Black Sheep 303 Creative, and the card I'm sharing today is a pet sympathy card because one of my regular viewers, Nicole, recently lost her cat, and having had 3 pets die in my adult life, I know how difficult that is, and so I'm very, very sympathetic when that happens. Those have been some of the worst losses for me in my life. So I wanted to make a sympathy card for her. And if you have ever had a pet die, you may be familiar with the Rainbow Bridge poem. It's a poem about where your pets go after they die and how they wait for you. And it's really, really sweet and makes me cry every time I read it. So that was sort of my inspiration for creating a rainbow on this watercolor panel. So the watercolor panel is cut to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I'm using my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers to make basically like stripes in rainbow color order. So the colors I used were 80 violet, 32 Persian blue, 47 May green, 50 yellow, 70 orange, and 22 carmine red. And there is no special technique going on here. I just basically colored a little bit of the marker onto the watercolor paper, and then I'm just taking a brush with some clean water and spreading the color out. And then if the color doesn't spread real well or it didn't have enough by the time I got to the end, I just add some more in using the marker by just kind of scribbling over the wet stripe for that color. And that is the entire process for creating this. It was not difficult at all. Now, I did have some bleeding between, especially with the blue into the green and the purple. That will likely happen if you do this sort of thing, because when you have wet next to wet, the color will travel into any wet area. So I was pretty lucky. I only had a little bit of that happen with the blue. So I just fixed it by what you're seeing me do now, which is just kind of color over the stripe to sort of get the stripe more into the single color as opposed to the bled color, I guess. Wow. That sounded awful, but you get my meaning. Anyway, my idea, as you saw from the project, was to cut a silhouette of the cat out of the rainbow panel. So I knew I wanted to put some stars into the behind the cat's body silhouette. So to do that, I am using an Elizabeth Craft Design stencil called Butterflies and Stars, and I'm adhering it on top of a piece of rich black soft finish cardstock, also from Elizabeth Craft Designs, with some blue tape, just to get a good contact between the stencil and the paper. And then I'm covering up any part of the butterflies so I don't get gel medium into that. And I'm going to be spreading gel medium across the stencil and then coating that with glitter to get the gold star effect. So I've got a little mini paint palette knife here, and I'm just spreading it over the stencil. The toughest part of this is probably holding the stencil down so that you don't get gel medium under the stencil and then not accidentally gouging out any of the gel medium from the stars as you're spreading it. So not tough at all, in other words. And now I'm just spreading solar gold Silk Microfine glitter on top of that, and it sticks really well. And after several hours of dry time, I'm just dusting off the excess glitter. Now you can see I have cut the silhouette of the cat out of the rainbow panel. I used a die from the Per die set, also from Elizabeth Craft Designs. Strangely, when I did it originally, I did it wrong. I made a mistake. So when I cut it originally, I had it blade side up, and it basically instead of cutting, it embossed a cat image onto the rainbow panel. So then I had to flip the cat over to cut it out, and it created kind of a funky ghosted cat image embossed on the panel that kind of is around the silhouette version. And I kind of like that, since this was, like a sympathy card. I kind of like the effect of the ghosted image as well as the silhouette. So happy accident there. Then I wanted some dimensions, so I added foam tape all around the cat silhouette and have that entire panel kind of popped up on one layer of foam tape. For my greeting, I am using Sorry for Your Loss from the Hero Arts Everyday Sentiments stamp set. You may have noticed in the earlier segment that I already had one done. It was stamped in black on a piece of white cardstock, and that was just too harsh for me. It was, I don't know, too stark, and it also covered up the cat's tail, and I didn't like that effect. So I decided I would stamp it again on vellum and heat emboss it in silver, and that creates a very subtle effect there on the bottom. I just folded the vellum around the panel and taped it on the back, and then I added in these 3 stars that I punched out of gold mirror cardstock with this little punch from EK Tools. I liked that the greeting is very subtle. I wanted the cat silhouette to really be the most important element, so it didn't bother me that the greeting is almost like invisible on the front. It kind of works for me. And then I just adhered the watercolor panel onto a piece of soft finished black cardstock, and then I adhered that entire panel onto an A2 size top folding white card base. And that is the completed project. I hope you like it. I was kind of going for, with the silhouette, sort of your memory of your pet. It's kind of a hole in your life once they're gone, but yet you have great memories of them, so the stars seemed appropriate. And that was sort of my process in designing the card, and I hope you like it. Thanks so much for watching. There is a supply list linked in the video description below and on my blog. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, and I am super close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you've not subscribed yet, I would love it if you would subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at blacksheep303. Thank you so much. Have a great day.